So now we will have the presentation from Alex Zaballa, also about the cloud. Let me unmute Zaballa. Okay. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Just share your screen to mute my microphone afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Just a minute. Okay, can you see my slides?
Yes, we are seeing your screen.
Okay, let's start. So I will stop my video because otherwise you only pay attention to my pretty face. So the slide is much useful. Let's start to talk about how to move your on-premises database to the Oracle Cloud. The good thing from this presentation, it's not only to move to the Oracle Cloud. You can use these concepts to move to any other cloud, or if you are planning to move from one server on premises to another server on premises. My name is Alex Zaballa. I'm an ACE director from Brazil. And yes, I'm doing a lot of Oracle certifications on my free time. I'm based in Dallas since June 2019. It's 1 year now. I started my career in Brazil as a developer in 1997. Start my Oracle career in 2000 as an Oracle developer, forms, reports, and designer, SQL, PL SQL. 2007, I moved to Angola as an Oracle DBA for the Ministry of Finance. I spent there 8 years. 2015, I moved back to Brazil and started to work for ENKITEC. And I was there for 4 years. In 2019, I moved to Dallas, and I'm still working for ENKITEC. ENKITEC is now part of ACCENTURE. The Oracle program. If you are interested in the program, you can talk to me or any other guy from the user group. So let's talk about how to move your database to the cloud. So the Oracle idea for the cloud, it's very nice because you can use the same architecture, the same software, and the same skills you are using on premises, you can use in the Oracle Cloud. So everything you do on premises, you can do in the Oracle Cloud. A warning about autonomous database, because I'm seeing a lot of people making some confusion about it. So database 18C, 19C, or 20C are not autonomous database. So autonomous database, it's a cloud service. You can have autonomous database if you go to this cloud service. If you download on premises, this database, it's not autonomous. Another question, a lot of people are asking the same question with the Oracle Cloud or the autonomous database. Will I lose my job? This is my opinion. No, but you need to learn new skills. For example, application. You need to start to help your developers on design and development. You need to learn architecture, and especially in the Oracle Cloud, you need to learn the infrastructure, network security, and infrastructure as a code. So you need to update your skills to stay relevant when you are a cloud DBA. Some tools that I recommend you to start learning to automate and your deployment or tasks, especially in the cloud. So I recommend you, if you are going to Oracle Cloud, learn OCI, CLI, learn Terraform, and learn Ansible. Oracle Database Cloud. So some services you can use in the Database Cloud. You can use Database Cloud services, virtual machines, or bare metal. You can also use the Exadata Cloud services. There are two types of Exadata services. You can use the cloud services, or you can use the cloud at customer. This is exactly the same services, but this machine will be deployed on your data center. And you have the autonomous database for OLTP and for DW. So first thing you need when you are thinking to move your database to the Oracle Cloud, it's determining your shape to move to the Oracle Cloud. You have some options. First option, I am the DBA, I know everything. You can use, for example, the same amount of CPUs and memory that I have on premises. It works, but probably you are losing and burning your money because the servers in the cloud are brand new servers and powerful. Probably more CPUs are more powerful than you have on premises. So the best way to check your shape you need in the Oracle Cloud, it's using this database consolidation workbench. It's part of the Oracle Enterprise Manager. The only problem here, you need to have the diagnostic pack because this tool will analyze your AWR based on your retention. Another way is using this MiG360. I will explain later this tool. So I created this tool to help people to migrate the database to the Oracle Cloud. So you have a lot of options to determine your shape in the Oracle Cloud. So you can use a lot of tools, or you can try to guess. And when you have this answer, based on the definition of number of CPU, memory, and storage, you can create your database in the Oracle Cloud. So in this presentation, I'm assuming you already have the database created in the Oracle Cloud because it's pretty straightforward. It's like 3-4 clicks. You have your database deployed in the Oracle Cloud. When you start to thinking about move your database to the Oracle Cloud, you have this link here, oracle.com, go to move. You can select your source and you can select your destination services. And this web page will provide you the documentation about all the options you have based on your source and your destination. Some migration methods you can use. You can use, for example, data pump, or you can use recovery manager. You can also use like SQL developer, and the new PDB architecture. You can use things like remote cloning or unplug. I will show later on my tool, the MiG360, all the options you have and I'll provide some examples. So don't worry if I'm going faster on the slides, because I prefer to show everything in my tool. If you are migrating from non-CDB to CDB, I recommend you to read this blog post from Mike about all the pitfalls you can find when you are migrating your database from non-CDB to CDB. So spend some time reading this and check everything you can happen during your migration. To choose your migration method, basically the most important, it's on-premises database version and cloud database version, because for example, I can go from on-premises 10G and I'm moving to the Oracle Cloud 19C. So based on my on-premises version and the cloud database version, I will have some options. Also, your on-premises host operating system. For example, if I'm moving from AIX to or Solaris to cloud, all the service in the Oracle Cloud is Linux. So I need to use some options to convert my database to Linux. Another important point is the database size, because it will affect your options and also your network bandwidth. So how much data can I send to the Oracle Cloud? And for me, the most important, it's your downtime. So how long is your downtime? So like, can I have like 3 days or 5 minutes? If I'm moving, for example, my database 11G on premises to 11G in the Oracle Cloud, I can use these options. I can use data pump, conventional or transportable tablespace, or I can use recovery manager. If I'm doing some conversion here, I can use recovery manager convert. So don't worry, I will explain with examples all the options. I'm just show very quickly the options you have. If you are moving from 11G to 12C, 18C, or 19C in the Oracle Cloud, you also have this new option, full transportable. If you are moving 12C, 18C, 19C, and you are using the CDB architecture, you are moving to the Oracle Cloud, I have all these options. So I can unplug my CDB, transfer the files and plug, or I can do a remote cloning. I can use SQL Developer. If I'm doing the same migration, but my on-premises is non-CDB, I have all these options. So I can use, for example, remote cloning, the non-CDB option. I just need to move, plug, run a script to convert to CDB, and all good. As I said, downtime, for me, it's the most important part of your migration strategy. So you have to discuss with your customer the downtime. Why? Because, for example, if I'm using the public internet and my database has like 100 terabytes, it can take like 8 months to move my data to the Oracle Cloud. So this is very important to understand this concept. To load data in the autonomous database, if you are moving your on-premises database to autonomous, you need to be aware you cannot use tools like Recovery Manager, or you cannot unplug and plug your PDBs, and you cannot use the transportable tablespace. If you are going to autonomous database, you need to use one of these options. You need to use SQL Developer or Data Pump or GoldenGate. Well, if your database it's very big and you need to move faster, you have two options. You can use the data transfer services. This is basically you move your backup data to your hard drives, and then you send the hard drives to Oracle, and Oracle you import in a object storage in the Oracle Cloud for you. Another option, you can request to Oracle this data transfer appliance. So you can request Oracle to send you this appliance here. You move all your backups to this guy and send back to Oracle. And Oracle will upload all this data to the Oracle Cloud. You don't need to be worried about the security of this data because you have some security steps you need to do, and only you, even if you miss the hard drivers or the transfer appliance, only you can access your data. Another option, if your database is not too big or you have time to move to the Oracle Cloud, you can use this guy here. I will explain quickly and show a little example how to use this. So basically, you are doing your recovery manager backups from your on-premises database. So your backups are going directly to the Oracle Cloud to object storage, and then you can use these backups to create your database in the Oracle Cloud. First thing you need to do here, download this module. You can go to the OTN website, download this guy, and upload the installation file to on-premises database and to the cloud database. And to install, this is the installer name. It's a zip file. You have to unzip, and then you run java -jar this command to install the backup module. If you're planning to do, you can go to this link. There is step by step you can follow to install. First thing, I'm going to my database server in the Oracle Cloud to configure and install this module. So basically, this is my command line. So for example, all these parameters, you can find how to get this information on the previous link. So basically, you need your private key, you need a fingerprint, you need the ID for the user, and you need the tenancy, and this is the wallet. Here is the directory, the module you create on your server to store the wallet, and where is the location for your library files. So for example, I'm running here with all these parameters, and then this installer will create a parameter file, OPC2, and your database name here. Basically, in this parameter file, you have the object storage name. You transfer your on-premises backup sets to the Oracle Cloud, and the wallet. So this is very important because I don't need to provide my username and password every time I'm running my backups. So Oracle can go open this wallet and check your username and password. So you did you install this module on premises. Sorry, you installed previous on the cloud, and now you do the same steps on premises. So basically the same command line, same parameters. Here it's my server on premises. So I have the same parameter file with all the information. Okay, then I can start to configure my recovery manager after install the module. basically I need to use, this module works like a tape library. So basically you need to configure this tape library to use your module and to use your parameter file. This parameter file, you know, there is the object storage location and wallet and everything you need. So you do this command on recovery manager to configure the destination. Okay, so I have the module, I have the recovery manager pointing to the Oracle Cloud. So now I can start and do my backups, my on-premises backup to the Oracle Cloud. One thing very important, you need to set your encryption. You need to set a password, otherwise you get an error because you are moving your on-premises data to the Oracle Cloud and you need some kind of security here. So only you can open these backups later. The options I have to backup, I can use, for example, like this, backup my database to my tape library. This tape library is pointing to the Oracle Cloud. Or, for example, if I'm planning to move my databases and I can use like this strategy, the incremental, I can do level 0 first, and I can start do the level 1 incremental backups. So I can have avoid a big downtime if I'm using this strategy. So I'm creating the level 0 to the Oracle Cloud. With this level 0, I can create a new database and I can do the incremental level 1 and apply the incremental backups in my database before open the database. When you do your backups here, you see your data files. Oracle is moving to the Oracle Cloud, and you can go to the Oracle Cloud, to your object store, to your bucket, and you can see the files here. All the files here are the backup sets from Recovery Manager. So you open. Now you can go to the database server in the Oracle Cloud. What do you need to do to create a new database in the Oracle Cloud based on your backup? First thing, startup no mount to create a dump instance here. Set your decryption. Remember, you set your password to create your backup. Now you have to set the same password here to decrypt the password. And also set your DB ID. Another thing you have to do, restore your SP file. You can point to, for example, to this location, and you restore from your backup. After restore your SP file, you can start and restore your control files. And mount your database. So you have now a database in mount stage. And then you can start to restore your database. So you can see here, Recovery Manager are reading the library and the backups located on your object storage. After restore your database, you need to recover your database. You have some options to recover your database based on the version you are. For example, you can recover until the SCN or until cancel or until the available redo. And Depend on the option you use to recover your database. You can use the open your database reset logs or no reset logs. So it depends your strategy you are using to recover your database. The problem with this kind of approach to use database cloud backup module is I cannot upgrade to the new version during the migration. So for example, if I'm moving my database 11.204, I need to create an 11.204 database in the Oracle Cloud, restore, recover, and do the upgrade later. If you go to this blog post, there is one script created by Oracle. You can run all these steps in just one command. So if you're planning to use the backup module to move your database, I recommend you to go to this blog post and see the script. It will make your life easier. So that's all for the cloud backup module. Let's talk about the data pump now. Using data pump. For example, I can use cross-Indian. For example, if I'm moving from Solaris to Linux, I can use data pump. Or for example, if I'm moving from database 10G to 19C, I can also use the data pump. I can move from non-CDB to the CDB architecture. I can do some changes. For example, I'm moving from my on-premises database is using like file system, and I want to move to the ASM. I can use the data pump. And of course, I can upgrade to a new version. I can go from 10G to 18C, for example. How to use the data pump? One option is to go to on-premises, create your physical directory on your SO, create your directory inside the database pointing to the same location, and then I can export my entire database, or I can export just a few schemas. Same thing we used to do on premises. After export my database, I can go to the Oracle Cloud, create a directory here in the Oracle Cloud, and then I can move my export file on premises to the Oracle Cloud using SCP. Using SCP, it's one of the options. I can also move my DMP file to an object storage, and I can use the data pump import pointing to the object storage. I will show later how it works. So you move your file, and then you have to do the same. Go to your cloud database services, create your directory, and import. Options you can consider when you are using the data pump strategy. It's possible to create a database link. For example, you will have a fast connect link or a VPN between your on-premises and the Oracle Cloud. You can create a database link between the database, and you can use the network link option on the data pump. And as I said, you can move to object storage, and when you are importing your database, you can point your dump file to the file in the object storage. So you don't need to create a file and transfer file to the SO in the cloud. Another option, you can use the transportable tablespace. It's also cross-Indian possible. You can move from database on premises like 8i to a 19c database. You can move change the architecture, and of course you can upgrade to a new version, moving from like 10G to 19C, for example. How it works? Basically, it's the same with a few more steps. You have to create your directory on your server, create your directory inside the database pointing to the same. If you are using data pump transportable table spaces, you need to make your table spaces read-only before you export the data. So it can cause downtime for you. So remember this step. You need to make your table space read-only, and then you can export your metadata using this option on the export utility, transport table spaces and the table space name. Again, go to your database in the Oracle Cloud, create the directory in the SO, transfer the files. You need to transfer your DMP files, and you need also to transfer your data files. And here you can go to your database on premises and put your table spaces back to read, write. On your cloud server, create your directory inside the database, create the user, and then you can import pointing to the new data files. And then after import, you need to put these table spaces in read-write mode. So this is the option you have when you are using the data pump. Another option is to use the data guard. This is a very good option to avoid downtime. So basically you have your database on premises and you create your standby database in the Oracle Cloud. When you have the database in sync, you can do a switch over from on premises to the Oracle Cloud. Let me explain quickly basic steps to create how it works and how to create a data guard. There are a lot of options, but I'm showing one of the simple options to create the data guard. The problem using data guard, you cannot go cross Indian. For example, your on-premises database needs to be Linux to move to Linux. You can change the version. The good thing, you have the minimal downtime, and source version you can start from 11.204 to 19.6. Two ways to do this. You can use the database as a services, or you can use the infrastructure as a services. Basically, the steps are: create your physical standby, prepare your client connections. You need to change the TNS names from your clients, and then you do a switch over when the database are in sync. You can go to this PDF if you need to know more about this option. Basically, you have your on-premises primary database production. You create a standby database in the Oracle Cloud. Your clients are going here. When you do a switch over, your clients go to this database. First thing, your database on premises need to be in archive log mode. So if you are running databases in production, I really recommend you to have database in archive log mode. And this is a very important step to have your database in force login. If you avoid you some headaches when you are doing the migrations to using the data guard. You need to create your standby, redo logs on premises database, and of course in the cloud. It will depend on the number and the size of redo logs you have on premises. And the recommendation is create one additional group. For example, if you have 3 redo logs in production, create 4 standby logs. To create the database in the Oracle Cloud, you just need a parameter file with the database name. Create your ADUMP file. Create your password file. You can create a new one, or you can move your password file on premises to this server in the Oracle Cloud. Export this variable pointing to the same DB name. Open the SQL Plus. Start no mount pointing to the parameter file you created with only one. And then connect to Recovery Manager. So this is your production database. Auxiliary is your standby database in this example. And then you can duplicate your target database for standby. You can use, for example, from active database if you don't have the new backups on premises. And then you have a database created and ready in the Oracle Cloud. The next step is to create and prepare your client connections. You need to change your TNS names, open the firewall port, and do all the network configurations. To do a switch over, it's not an obligation to use the broker, but I like to use the broker because it makes your life easier. So basically you need to enable the broker, connect to the broker, create your configuration pointing to your primary database and add your standby database, enable configuration, and when everything is ready, you just do a switch over to the standby. Another option is to use the GoldenGate cloud services. This option is very good to avoid downtime. So you have your database on premises replicating to the Oracle Cloud. So it's another option if you like the GoldenGate, if you have GoldenGate knowledge, you can go and use. It's a very good option. Using GoldenGate, you can do basically everything. You can go cross-Indian. You can move from 8i to 19c, for example. You can migrating from non-CDB to PDB. You can change the database structure. Good thing, minimal downtime, and you can do the upgrade to a new version. So using DataGuard you cannot, but using GoldenGate you have all these things you can use. There are a lot of options. I will show you now using the migration 360 script. Let me open here. So you can go to the GitHub, to this guy here. Basically, you just need to download the zip file. This is the last version, the MIG 360. When you download this file, you have this zip file here. What I need to do? I have a virtual machine here. I will just run a little example how to use this tool. So basically, I just download to my machine and then I'm moving to this file here. I will move to my virtual machine. access this new machine. So here is the file. Of course, if this machine has internet connection, you can just download directly to the machine. But just to let you know how it works. Let me create a new directory here. So what I have here, I have the MIG360 SH. This SH will run for every database in this server if you have more than one database, or you can run directly the SQL on the specific database. So let me show here. You can run this tool using a user with the data dictionary access, but I recommend you if you can run as a DBA user, especially the sysdba, because you have more information on the tool. Basically, you need to run the MIG360 and pass some parameters file. For example, you have on the GitHub, you have the explanation how to use the tool. The first parameter is if you have the non-diagnostic, or if you have diagnostic and tuning pack. In this case, I have both, so I'm seeing I have the tuning pack. The second parameter will be if you are planning to run the ESP, it's a tool from Carlos Sierra to do consolidations. For example, if you are planning to move, like you have 10 databases and you are planning to consolidate these 10 databases in just one server, you can run this tool to check this. So now I'm not running. The other parameters are optional, so the tool is already running. So it will take a while to run. It depends on your database size and on your AWR retention. So I have one file that I run previews on the same machine. So let me copy this file here to not wait 20 minutes until the tool finish. So when the tool finishes, the tool will create a zip file. The name of the tool, your database name, and date and time. So I move it to the same directory. Here is the result for the tool. You can unzip the file. I think the virtual machine is consuming a lot of my resource. Okay. Good. So when you open this, you have this is 0001. It's the main file for the tool. But let me start from some files that you have on this tool. For example, you can go here and you have a quick DB view and your database name file. When you open this guy here, you can see the most important information about your database. So why I created this tool? Because I'm working as a consultant, and when we have some work to move database, the customer used to approach and ask us the same question every time. So I need to move my database to cloud, and I need to know how long it will take and how much it will cost. And every time I need to send a lot of questions to the customer. For example, I need to know your database size, your database version, the SO, how many concurrent users, and everything. So I developed this tool. So you can download this tool to send to your customer. The customer will run the tool, and you have all the information you need to plan the migration. So you don't need to do a lot of calls with the customer to ask a lot of questions. So you have everything you need on just one tool. So basically, first thing I do, I open this file to check the database, all the information. For example, I know the database name, version, block size. I know the number of data files. I know if it's a single instance or rack. I know the database memory, SGA, PGA. I know the number of CPUs. I know the SO. I know the patches applied on this database. I know the information about PDBs. I have the memory information here. I have the session information, number of sessions connected to this database. And I also have the weights. So I can have an overview of the database, just to open one file. Another thing I have in this tool is this file here. For example, I have the DDL to create new users. So if I'm preparing the new database, I just came here and copy the DDLs to create the tablespaces and the users. This one is for the tablespace. So there is no new tablespaces on the database. Why? This is why we are not seeing any new tablespace here. Another file you have here, it's a CSV file with all the information you need to build the migration scripts. If you need to build migration scripts that is not in the tool, you can import these informations on your database and build your all script. So let's go back to the most important. This is the most important file, the index. This is how the tool looks like. So in this screen, what I have the database name, the license that I use to run the tool, and I have the AWR retention. By default is 8 days, but on this database is 31 days. So I'm seeing 31 days of information on my database activity. For example, I have my system under observation. Let me explain some things here. The look and feel for this tool, it's the same look and feel for all the tools we used and we create on the ENKITEC. It's based on Mode 369. It's a free framework created by Rodrigo Jorge. So all the tools you see from ENKITEC guys, you see the same look and feel. System under observation, this is my first link. It's basically the same I have on QuickDB view, but in this format. I have information about database instances, pluggable database. For example, I have my database properties. So if I'm planning to change my character set or anything, I can see what I have in production. Good thing I can see here, for example, I can see my database parameters. So I have all the parameters, so I can check before I move my database. I have the modified, I have all. I have hidden parameter changes. I have parameter file for PDBs, for example. I have schedule information. So before move my database, I can see all the jobs running in this database. I can check the maintenance task. For example, I can see if I have my statistics collection or any other maintenance task active. I have information about patch, for example. This is using the O patch. I have the same information here, but it's using this view. Sometimes I prefer to use the O patch to see all the patches in my database. And I also have the option to see the patches for my grid infrastructure. Of course, this is not a ASM database. This is why I don't have the information here. I have information about memory, SGA, PGA, and memory. I have also the advisor information. Maybe I need to adjust this before move my database. Resource. For example, I can see my database consume on CPU. For example, I can see how many CPU this database is using during my AWR retention. I can see memory. I can see, for example, database size. Here I have the total database size. I have some good information. For example, I have the IOPS and MBPS. For example, I can see if my shape in the Oracle Cloud will be okay with this number of IOPS and MBPS. Another thing very useful and important, feature usage statistics. For example, I can see all the features in use for this database. So it's very important to choose the database version I'm going in the Oracle Cloud. So I can go to the enterprise high performance or extreme performance based on this information. What else? A lot of information. I can see if I have valid objects. I can see, for example, logon triggers. This is very important if I need to create these logon triggers on my new database. I can see information about my tablespaces, data files. This one is very important. For example, I can see my top largest object, so I can start to thinking about partition my tables before move. I have information about ASM. I have information about backup and recovery, everything I need. I have information about the user profiles and privileges. I can check before create these users and move. I also have the information about the resource manager, if it's created. This is very important. I have information if I have, for example, SQL profiles and SQL plan baselines. I need to consider if I will move these guys to my new database. For example, if I'm moving using data pump, just moving these schemas, maybe I can have some performance problems because I forgot to move these guys to the new database. I have information about statistics, result cache. This is very good. For example, I can come here and see my sessions. For example, if I create a new database, I can come here and see all the machines connected to my database. So I can go directly to these machines to change the TNS names or the connection strings on this machine. Because if I forgot to do this in one machine and I move to a new IP address, I will have a problem for clients to connect to my new database. I have data guard information, GoldenGate, if this database is running GoldenGate to extract data. I have information about, for example, SGA and PGA. I can see some anomalies here to fix before move. I can see also my time model. I have some information based on my history. For example, I have the same information here for session, but based on my history. So in this part, I have the information current connected to my database, and this is from the history. Another good thing I have here is, for example, top SQLs. I can came to this guy here, and I'm seeing just one SQL taking 79% of the database time. So if I came here and fix this SQL, I can move my database to the Oracle Cloud and use and pay less CPU. So it's a very good point when you are thinking to move your databases to first fix your top SQLs. You have your network information, for example, SQLnet configuration. I have information about the listener and everything. Sometimes we do some changes on the SQLnet and we forgot this part when we are moving. I have also the cron tab jobs and information about the SO. And the best part, I have the migration options. So, for example, if I'm planning to move using the data pump, let me open a new file from a better database, because this is just a VM. So let me open this. This is a more realistic database. So for example, if I'm planning to move using data pump, I can go to the tool, and the tool will provide you all the information you need to move your database, all the steps. So I can just copy and paste, and I have all the steps to migrate my database to the Oracle Cloud. So all the steps you need to move this database. And you have a lot of options. You can use, for example, using data pump, you can use recovery manager. For example, if I decide to create using a data guard, the tool will generate for you all the steps you need to do to create your data guard. For example, if I need to plug and unplug, I have all the steps. I just need to copy and paste, and I will have my database migrated to the Oracle Cloud based on all these options. And if you find any options you need and it's not in the tool, you can also use this file here to import all the information on your database, and you can create your own migration script. So you are 1 minute. So let me stop sharing, and thank you guys. If you have any questions, we have 1 minute, or otherwise you can just send me an email or contact me on
at the moment, just one, Zaballa. Thank you, first of all, for your great presentation. What's the best? What's the best to use? No, it's best to use zero downtime or manually migration, in your opinion.
Well, it depends. It's the zero migration tool from Oracle. they are talking?
Yes.
Yes, the tool it's very good. It will do everything for you. If you are planning to use, it's working for data guard option. If you have the option to use data guard, if your database it's Linux and you are moving to the Oracle Cloud and using the same database version, you can go and use this tool. It's very nice and will automate everything for you. But if you need to do any kind of migration, for example, AIX or Solaris to any other, to Linux, for example, you need to do manually.
Okay.
Okay, I think
I have some blinking on Zoom. I think I am back.
I think we are 1 minute later, so
Okay.
I think
So
we can go to the next speaker.
yeah, thank you
Sorry
so
for
much,
1 minute later.
Zaballa. And thank you all guys to join us today. And